I'm a born conversationalist, so if we are running out of time or if I'm talking too much, then just give me that little nod or the little, and I will get back on track.
Yeah, so we are recording now, so thank you very much for joining us here today. We really appreciate you spending the time, and thank you so much for attending this info session on the Blam Certified Partnership Program today. Look, this is an info session, so there'll be a presentation by Grant Stain, the CEO, which will take about 55 minutes. We will go on mute, and then what we'll do is we'll unmute towards the end of the presentation, well, when the presentation's over, and then we'll have a live Q&A. I'm sure you've got tons of questions. So we welcome those. My name is, as I said, Edward van der Klein, International Sales Director here at Blam. I will be curating the chat on the side. So I will keep an eye on any questions. You can fire your questions in the chat. I'm super excited. Really good to see that you guys are here. But I just wanted to, guys, this for information purposes only. It's just for us to share as much info as possible. But if after the presentation you're kind of still interested and you want to learn a bit more, then what we can do is we can set up a one-to-one session where we can dive a bit deeper into the program. Okay. But that's kind of it for me. Like I said, I'll be in the chat. We'll probably talk at the end. Thank you very much for attending, and I'll hand over to Grant.
Thank you, Edward.
Thanks, Ed. Cheers, guys, and welcome to the presentation today. As Ed probably said, typically what happens is people will be joining us as we go through the hour. So you'll hear a few bings and bongs. We'll be putting you guys on mute very shortly. So if you've got any questions, you'll see there's a little chat box that you can use. So Ed will be curating, and he'll be able to sort of answer your questions as you go along. But we will do a Q&A at the end, so that we can talk things through. The goal today, guys, as Ed said, is to give you an introduction to digital marketing, to tell you some sort of do's and don'ts. My goal is really that at the end of this presentation, you've got a bit of a foundation about how you can run your own digital marketing agency. And if you think after what you've heard from us that might be better off spent with us, Ed can do a deep dive, and he does a one-to-one where he'll take you down through to the nuts and bolts of what we do to see if that's something that is of interest. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen.
You're breaking up a bit, Grant, on this one.
I've been a few.
I did take some time.
Have I lost you guys? Is it okay?
Sorry?
Is it breaking up?
It is a little bit. There's a bit of a shaky connection.
Yeah.
But that might just be the internet where we are at the moment.
Yeah, I keep losing you guys, but I don't know whether you're losing me in the same way. But we're going to embrace the beauty of technology, guys, and I'm going to plow on. We're using a different Wi-Fi at the moment, so let me share my screen first and foremost. But bear with me a sec, guys, because we've just moved offices, as Ed might have said. I just want to make sure I share the right screen with you. Bear with me. So I've got to say I'm surrounded.
Sorry, I was just Edward, sorry, I did mute my mic. I was just saying that this tests our skills at being able to be adaptable and flexible in the forever changing market. So we can deal with it.
We have every time you hear the phrase "we embrace the beauty of technology," that's a slight hint. That's a hint that there's a slight hiccup.
In South Africa, we use the one. It's another cut day in Africa.
Yes. And please do not translate that in a literal format.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm from the Netherlands, so I do know what that means.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That's the fun of claim. That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. We all good? You see my screen, Ed?
Yeah. Presentations there. That's great. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm good. I'm going to mute myself, guys, and then.
Me too. I'll see you on the other side.
Awesome. So welcome, guys, to the Blam Partners presentation. And I think we've got to just first and foremost, one of you identify the last year. Wow, everything has changed, and what we've come to realize is that we may be looking at these kind of scenarios for some time to come, with changing viruses and, needing different, tests and whatever else. What we've come to experience over the last 12 months, we now kind of start to think, could this be something that goes on for a while? And I guess that's why you're looking about how you can secure your future with all this uncertainty. And you know what? I don't blame you, because it's been a roller coaster. Who would have thought that 12 months ago, pretty much to the day, that we'd have just faced the last year that we've been through? We would never have been able to imagine it, would we? But as a result, we're all sort of, or a lot of you guys are asking, how can you secure your future? And I'm guessing that as a result of being on this presentation right now, you're thinking about digital, you're thinking about marketing, you're thinking about
Sorry, I completely lost you there, Grant.
Oh, sorry. It's I'm afraid the reception is a bit flaky. Does it keep? Tell you what, let me.
No problem.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for a sec, and I'm gonna swap over onto my phone data, because I've got a feeling it may well be more reliable.
Do we have anybody else on the webinar with us yet?
Yeah, Marianne's here.
I know. Just us.
There we go.
You've muted your mic.
Right, how's that, guys? Ed, you're on mute if you're talking. Can you hear me okay now?
Perfect. I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, so some people trying to get in, but the link's not working for them, so I'll have to try again.
No worries. Okay, I'm on my phone data now, so hopefully the signal's going to be a bit better. I think the Wi-Fi is just being a bit flaky. So
it's 5 o'clock here, so yeah.
Okay.
All being good, we can crack on. Right, bear with me. Share my screen again.
So if I can, just before you do, if we do start having difficulties, you have a fair foundation and understanding about digital marketing. Obviously, it's your product and your platform that I'm very interested in. I find it actually one of the most amazing parts of marketing or technology, because it is so measured and adaptable and real time, and to the actual full stop and the cent. You can prove everything. So if you do get stuck and it is just us and you're not elaborating for anybody else on that level, that's absolutely perfect. But I don't want to interrupt your flow either.
No worries, no worries. Good. Okay, let me try sharing again, and we will do round 2. Is that okay, Ed? Just give me a heads up. You can see the screen.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, brilliant. Back on it. Cool. So digital has changed a lot over the last 12 months, and it's now something that only consumers are now much more FA with how to buy online, use mobile apps, and generally surf the internet as a way of actually being consumers. It's actually transitioned. What a lot of analysts are saying is 10 years into the future of where it would have been during the pandemic. So the pandemic has accelerated our use of digital technology. And of course, for us and the Blam Partnership Program, that's been awesome for us as our businesses have benefited from it, because we've been able to help so many more small business owners that didn't necessarily, they were the kind of businesses that kept putting off their digital marketing. They kept sort of putting it to the back of their list, which is understandable. They didn't have a choice during the pandemic. As we were going through lockdown after lockdown, they had to have a digital solution because it was the only way that we could do business. And we embraced it. we embraced it. And, you know, I say this with some sensitivity because I acknowledge that so many small businesses have struggled, so many large businesses have struggled throughout the last 12 months. But, you know, as a business and Blam partners in general, have seen a lot of growth in the last 12 months, and it's been awesome for us. But it hasn't been like that for every digital marketing agency. It's not digital marketing per se that has guaranteed people's success. There's more to it than that. In fact, I know of quite a few digital agencies that have had to downsize, that have had to make people furloughed and redundant and all the other things because of the way their business was structured. Whereas Blam partners have seen growth and they've seen their businesses blossom as a result of more people looking to digital marketing as the way to do business, and because they had the business model, the tools, the accessibility to be able to make it happen. So what I'd like to do, guys, is just talk a little bit about that business model. Because if you're looking at going into digital marketing, I'm hoping this can help you with the benefit of my experience. And as you know, my name's Grant Stain. So I set up my first business back in 2001. And that was me thinking I had this whole entrepreneurial thing sussed, okay, back in about 2007, when I was running my own digital marketing agency that, you know, by all accounts was doing very, very nicely. That was my nice barn conversion office. I had a great team that were in there, and, you know, life was good. Life was good. And my business model was fairly traditional. It was serving big businesses, and these big businesses, some of which you may have heard of, Halfords, for example, is the largest automotive and bicycle retailer in the UK. These were my customers, and the way that I used to do business was that they would give me a brief. You know, I'd give them a quote. They'd tell me to go ahead with the job. I'd take it back to the team. The team would build the website or the email marketing campaign or the bespoke piece of development or digital photography or whatever it might be. With full service agency. We'd deliver that job, and then usually 30 to 60 days later, we'd get a check in the post or a bank transfer, and then we'd be on to the next job. And that was the way it worked. And do you know what, guys? That's the way most people still work in digital marketing. That is the way they do business. Big mistake, guys. That was a big mistake that I made, and I found out to my own cost back in the last recession, which started in 2008. By the time 2009 came round, it was really starting to kick in, and my business started to struggle. And I've got to tell you, it was awful, guys. It was awful, because what happened to me was that the business model that I had meant that I had to keep selling. At the beginning of each month, we were back to zero, and we had to sell more stuff. And when a recession hits, what businesses do, as we know from what's just happened in the last 12 months, they hunker down, they reduce their budgets, they stop spending on things that they think are, you know, not as profitable for them. They take things in-house. And that's what a lot of my customers did. They took their digital marketing in-house to try and cut costs, save money. They reduced their budgets. And this hit me hard. My business went from flying high, having all the perception of being super successful, to actually starting to get really, I was really worried about whether I could keep it going. I had to make redundancies. I had to make my friends redundant that had worked for me for years. I had to sell my car. I couldn't pay myself because there was no money coming in, because everybody just reduced their marketing budget or took it in-house. And that hit me really hard, guys. And it made me really wonder about whether I was cut out for it. You know, was this entrepreneurial thing for me? Because I still had all my overheads, but I had no money coming in. And the flaw really was my business model. That was the flaw, because if I had a business model where every time a recession came around, I would be, you know, I haven't really got a business that I could call myself a, you know, a proper business person, because recessions come around every 10 to 15 years. There's been 34 recessions since 1854. The economy is built that way. You're going to have a recession, and then you're going to boom and bust, boom and bust. That's the way the economy works. And we've just been through a recession. In fact, we're in the middle of one right now. It's probably it's a double dip recession that we're going through. It's worldwide, as was, you know, the majority of the world suffered in the last recession. And this means that if we're going to strategize and we want any kind of longevity, we've got to allow for it. My business hadn't allowed for that, and I nearly lost everything. I hung on to it by the skin of my teeth, but I came away with scars, and I knew that I had to do something different. And that something different started with me looking at what other people were doing during that recession that was successful. And what I noticed was the successful businesses expanded, not contracted during a recession. There were businesses that actually were super successful during a recession. How can that be? When everybody's clamming down, they're not spending the money. How could they be that way? Well, I had an example of this with one of my few customers that during the recession came to me and said, Grant, we're going into this deep recession now that, it was a huge economic downturn. I want to double my marketing budget with you. Now, this guy was called Martin. He ran a small engineering company, and I've got to tell you, it was music to my ears. I said, Martin, that's amazing. I'm delighted that you want to do that, but can I just say, why are you going to do that? Everybody else is reducing their budgets. He said, Grant, I've been in business a long time. I've been through recessions before, and let me tell you what happens in a recession. All of my competition are going to reduce their budgets. They're going to stop spending so much on marketing. I want to double my marketing, because whilst they're doing that, I'm going to mop up all their customers. I'm going to take all their customers off them. And when we come out of this recession, and we will, I'm going to be much further ahead of them. And that's what he did. Is one of the businesses actually just kept me going during that terrible time. And it was only a few years after that he was able to retire, because he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He expanded, not contracted. He became super successful. It only got even better after the recession. So I looked at this and I set about doing the same thing. I restructured the way that my business worked, and I actually founded an app development company. And instead of selling to big businesses, I sold to small businesses, and I sold en masse. And I sold by selling them a mobile app on a small monthly retainer. And that meant that I had hundreds of customers that were paying me a small amount of money. And I knew that the next recession that came along, because I had hundreds of customers, they weren't all going to cancel at once. And if a few of them cancelled, it wouldn't matter. And most of them weren't going to, because I'm only taking a small amount of money off them. I'm not charging them a fortune. And I worked on that volume model with that recurring monthly. And that really changed the whole perception of my business. But most interestingly was, during that period, I started working with small businesses, and I'd never done it before. I was used to working with large businesses. And the one thing that fascinated me and really took me by surprise was the fact that small businesses were pretty clueless when it came to their marketing, particularly digital marketing. Now, this took me by surprise, because I was used to dealing with big businesses. So I'd deal with marketing departments with people who really knew what they were talking about. It didn't occur to me that small business owners wouldn't have a good understanding. But of course, they're really busy running their own business. They haven't got time to be expert at everything. So I said to my team, look, guys, we've given them this fantastic app product. We've got hundreds of customers. How can we give them the business tech that they need, the tools that they need to really help them with their marketing? Because an app can only do so much. What we really need to do is give them a website that delivers results for them, that are measured, that are accountable, and that we can actually utilize to help them compete with the big businesses. Because we're used to doing big business websites. And my team love the idea, Grant, but we charge £10,000 plus for a website, because they take a long time to build. They're hard to do. And of course, bringing that down to something that was affordable for a small business is going to be tough. But I persevered with them, guys, and I kept saying, how are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? And I remember one night, it was 2013, November 2013. It was a dark, rainy night. I remember it. And I was working late at the office, and Carl, my head of development, was there. And he called me over. He said, Grant, I want to show you something. Take a look at this. And he showed me a website that he built that had all the tech inside it that we were talking about. And he said, Grant, I can deliver this in a time frame that means that we can make this affordable for small businesses. Back then, our sort of point was about £1,000 for a website, and we were able to deliver that website for less than £1,000. And that really was where Blam all began, because we went out and sold loads of those websites, and we found a formula for how to sell them. And that's when it all really started back in November 2013. And we call it the beginning of the AI website revolution, because the revolution of AI websites started with us back then in 2013. And wow, they've come a long way since then. We've done literally thousands of updates to the website since then, and they're still absolutely cutting edge. And this is still the technology. It's been around a while. It's still the technology that big businesses use and small businesses don't leverage. And it's our USP, it's our unique selling point. When we go to a networking meeting or we put ourselves in front of somebody and somebody asks us, what do? We say, well, we do the AI websites. We're the AI websites guys. And the question is always, what's an AI website? And that means it puts us in a category of one. It puts us in what we call the blue ocean, where we're a shark swimming around the blue ocean. All the fish are ours. Nobody's competing with us. All the website designers, all the marketing agencies, they're in the red ocean because they're all fighting over the same fish. They're in the same category. The website guys, we're the AI website guys, and that puts us in a unique category of one. So I want to tell you a little bit about AI websites now, just to help you understand what our USP is. If you'd like to find out more about these AI websites from Ed, you can book on a one-to-one, and he will put a link in the chat as we're going through this, because I'm just going to scratch the surface on this presentation and focus more about, you know, how you sell and how you build your marketing agency, that kind of thing. But if you want to talk more about Blam specifically, then Ed can do that. But let me just briefly tell you what an AI website is, and it all starts by tracking the number of visits. So an AI website knows how many times a visitor has visited the website and can deliver a message that is unique to that number of visits. So first-time visitors, typical example. If you land on the website knows you're a first-time visitor, it can give you a message that recognizes you're a first-time visitor, such as, hey, you're a first-time visitor, right? Why not check out our video from our CEO, or why not see our latest deal, spring offer, whatever it might be. By acknowledging they're a first-time visitor, psychologically, as human beings, we pay more attention. And that attention leads to sales, because what we're trying to do with the website is we're trying to hold people's attention. We're trying to get them to take action. And an AI trigger, one of which being number of visits, is one way of doing that. We've got other things too. So we use what we call themes based around a calendar. And that means that, let me just get this one going, you can see a little animation here. You will notice that the background and the foreground of these websites can actually have little animations, such as snow at Christmas. We've got hearts at Valentine's. We've got fireworks for celebrations like New Year's or Diwali or Thanksgiving, that kind of thing. We've got leaves in autumn. We've got all sorts of different themes. And the reason we do this is because the animation grabs our attention. It gets us to look. It makes it look, the website look up to date. It makes it look modern. And this is proven to get people to take more action, because we are attracted to movement. You'll notice on that website example as well, there's other things that are moving, which is all part of the way that we design sites to have animation and movement, because it attracts people's attention. Not a lot of web designers use that kind of thing. We'll also pre-populate the content based on a calendar. So you'll notice there we've got half-price websites, because it was the Black Friday deal that was done in November. That only appeared during the Black Friday period. We've just done the Valentine's one. That would have had a Valentine's message. You can use seasonal deals, seasonal offers, seasonal messages, pre-populate in advance in order to get people's attention, get them to take action. And then we've got things like this, which is geolocation. So when we were in South Africa and we did a seminar over there, we stayed in Santon. We had a message pop up for visitors that were in that local area to say, why not come to our free seminar? Now, if you were outside of the area, you wouldn't see it. So the website recognized where you are, gave you that localized message, which means that you're more likely to take action because you're recognized for your unique situation. We can do that for all sorts of different businesses. Imagine doing it for, you know, restaurants that are doing takeout at the moment, you know, just for the local area. Or it might be that you want to do it for a local business that's like, you know, why not come and visit us and have a coffee and talk about your XYZ, or why not book your car in for a service? We're just down the road, that kind of thing. And using these tools creatively gets people to take more action. And then this one's a really obvious one, but not many people use it, is that our websites can detect when somebody's on a mobile and give them a prompt to actually make a phone call. Do you remember when phones used to be used for phone calls, guys? That's what these do. We can actually recognize that people are on a phone and use the button to trigger them to make a call. Now, this again is proven to get people to take action. Every one of these triggers is measured and delivered in an email that they get once a week, showing the customer how often it's worked. It's really, really accountable, and everything is measured in a simple way. What is really important, guys, as I said at the beginning, is that because small business owners, they haven't got time to become experts in digital marketing, we need to give them tools that are accessible, that work, that are measured, and they understand. We need them to understand. And that's why we make everything nice and simple. And for our Blam partners, we need to be able to help our Blam partners articulate how these things work in a simple way too. Fully enough, I've just done a little training course for some partners, which we talk about the dummy curve. And the dummy curve is an example of when you're selling, you want to act a bit like a dummy, because if we act too overly professional or we act too overly knowledgeable, it can intimidate our customers because they don't understand digital marketing. They haven't really got the in-depth understanding, and what we've got to do is talk about it in terms that they do understand and they can see how they can get a return on investment and results. And that's a big part of what we do at Blam, because we want to help our partners make sales. We want to help them understand how they can leverage the cool technology that we've got to get results and help our customers get results. That's the most important thing. So that's our USP and that's our lead. And we use this as our key thing to talk about when it comes to Blam, because websites are kind of like the foundation of a marketing strategy. If you help somebody with their website, then you build trust with them, and you can then help them with other elements of their marketing, like a mobile app or the social media or their, it might be their ad campaigns or the SEO or whatever it might be. It all kind of starts from gaining trust with a website. But for us, it's not just about the products. It's about the way that we introduce, the way we sell, and the way we talk about our products. And one of the things that really helps us in that instance is what we call MRR. It's our favorite 3 letters in the world. I don't know whether anybody's come across this terminology before in terms of business. Feel free to use the chat if you know what MRR stands for. I'd love to see if you've come across it before. For us and for Blam partners, it's these are 3 of the most important letters in our vocabulary. It means everything to us, because this is the security. This is the thing that helps us get up in the morning and not have any worries. And let me tell you what it is. I'll put you out of your misery. Monthly recurring revenue is what I'm talking about, guys. Monthly recurring revenue. The goal of a Blam partner, the first goal, is to get to the point where your monthly recurring revenue exceeds what you were earning when you used to have a proper job. Okay? When you used to work for the man, when you were on a dreaded word, salary. Okay? We want your monthly recurring revenue from Blam to exceed what your salary was. That means at the beginning of the month, unlike what used to happen to me when I had my agency originally, you wake up at the beginning of the month and if you don't make any sales that month, you're still going to get paid. You're still going to get paid. That is a game-changing moment for anybody in their lives, and it's the first step on a fantastic journey of building a business that's here for the long term. And that monthly recurring revenue is a really, really important part of what we do. So, but it has some other advantages as well. Let me tell you what they are. When we sell a website, we say there is no upfront design fee. Now, this may intrigue you. Sounds too good to be true, right? No upfront design fee. Well, I'll tell you what else we don't do. We don't put people in a long-winded contract. So no contract, just rolling, just a rolling service level agreement. No contract. Now, you might be asking questions. How do you make money then? How do you make money? Why do you do that? Well, our monthly recurring revenue is the thing that helps us make money. And in actual fact, we make more money than when we used to charge up front, because the monthly recurring revenue is sticky. It stays and it builds and it builds and it builds. And ultimately, because we are removing the barriers to sale, we're saying there's no design fee and we're saying that there's no contract, we make more sales. All of those sales are on a recurring revenue. And every time you make a sale, your recurring revenue grows and grows and grows. And we're in a sticky business, guys. And by that, what I mean is high retention rates. High retention rates. As long as you're looking after your clients and you're doing everything that we teach you, retention rates are high. So that's why we do it. Okay then, so if you've got this process that you can leverage where you're not charging an upfront fee, you've not got a contract, does that mean it's a given that you make lots of sales? No, it doesn't. It doesn't make it a given, because you still need a sales process. Now, this is something that is extremely close to my heart personally, because the guy that you are looking at right there is exactly the kind of guy that I used to imagine when I thought of a salesperson. Somebody who is untrustworthy, you know, comes across as slimy, or, you know, say anything, sell their own grandmother, you know, that kind of character. That was the negative perception I had with selling. If you do too, guys, if that's what you think of when you think of sales, I'm here to tell you, don't worry, because this is what we specialize in, is helping people understand how to have a sales process. And it all starts by understanding this. If you are in business, you are in sales. Now, I disagreed when I first heard this one back 12 years ago or so. If you are in business, you're in sales. I said, I'm not in sales. I'm a managing director. I'm CEO. You know, that's what I do. I've got salespeople that work for me. I wouldn't want to be a salesperson. They're horrible salespeople. That was my perception. And my trainer said to me, my coach, he said, well, okay, well, if you're a CEO, you're a businessman, who's your guru? Who do you go to? Who's your hero? Easy. Richard Branson, business hero. Fantastic. Steve Jobs, another one, business hero back then when he was still running Apple. So he said, okay, well, let's look at Richard Branson. That guy will do anything to make a sale. He'll actually, you know, jump out of a helicopter on a bungee rope. He'll go across the world in a hot air balloon. He'll go across the Atlantic in a speedboat just to get attention to his businesses. He's an amazing salesperson. Just look at Steve Jobs. He's actually one of the greatest salespeople there's ever been. When he's on stage, people spend millions and millions. Now, Apple's the biggest company in the world, because they write books on his selling techniques. Thing is, I didn't even notice they were selling to me. I just thought they were business people. And this is the perception that we have to change. If you've got a negative relationship with selling, you've got to understand that all of the best business people in the world are salespeople first and foremost. And I find this to be the case so many times when I speak to people. They will tell you, and this is super successful people, they will tell you that they are salespeople at heart. And having that mentality as a starting point is something that we can help with, and we can help you change, because this is how it worked for me. My coach said to me, it's obvious that you don't want to sound like a salesperson, but guess what else? You don't want to look like one. You don't want to smell like a salesperson. You don't want to taste like a salesperson. You don't want to have anything about you that comes across as salesy, because anybody that is salesy isn't a professional salesperson. They're an amateur. A professional salesperson like Steve Jobs and Richard Branson, you don't even realize you're being sold to. And that's the way we train and coach our Blam partners, is we've got techniques that we've built up over the years to show them exactly how you've got to make sales if you're in business, guys. But if you start to sell like a salesperson, then they're going to smell you a mile off, and they're going to push back, because we don't like being sold to, human beings. We like to think it's an informed decision that we're making ourselves. And that's really important, guys, is that we need our prospects to be allowed to make an informed decision based on the process that we've taken them on. And that's why what I say to you guys is, if you become a Blam partner, obviously we'll show you how we do it, and we've got a proven system. But if you go and run your own business elsewhere, please, please, please get yourself a system. And the guys that I've just been training earlier today, I've said these are seasoned sales guys that I was training earlier. The most important thing is that you've got a system, not what that system is. There's lots of different sales systems. You know, you can go Grant Cardone, you can go Brian Tracy, you can go Oren Klaff, you can go Russell Brunson, you name it. There's loads of different guys out there that are all awesome. The most important thing is you have a system, don't deviate from it in any way, shape or form, and you will get results, because that is the key. Systems are there for a reason. And what happens is when people first become, you know, aware of understanding a new sales process, they're not expert, they try it, they don't get immediate results, and they try and change it, they try and tweak it. Becoming a professional salesperson takes work. As I say, with Blam, we can show you how. And if you don't go with Blam, get yourself that guru, get yourself a system and use it. Really, really important part of business, guys, really important. So, and that's now what Ed and I spend most of our time doing. We help our partners. We've been doing it for over 6 years now. The foundation of what we do is helping our Blam partners, first and foremost, set up with their own business, meaning they've got their own digital marketing agency where we design them a logo, a website, an app. We give them access to all of our training, and then we are their back office. So our team is our Blam partners team. So right from day one, a Blam partner has got a full service digital marketing agency as their team from day one to use in any way that they want: design, development, account management, tech support, sales mentoring, all of the stuff that they need, as well as having a team and a community of other Blam partners to be part of, so that you're in business on your own, but you're not by yourself. Okay, you've got your own business with other people that are in the same boat in that community.
We've lost you again.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
Sorry, you disappeared then for about 5-6 seconds.
Did I? Am I back in the room? I'm back in the room.
Thank you very much for your engagement, Shelley. That's awesome. And I just what? Openings over the weekend? Yeah, can do over the weekend, or Tuesday is fine, whatever suits you.
24/7, baby, that's us. Brilliant. So let's ask this question, guys. What problem do we solve? It's the question you've got to ask no matter what business you are in. And for small business owners, when it comes to their digital marketing, the problem that they have is they haven't got enough time, they don't understand it, they haven't got the knowledge and skills, and they're worried about spending their money. And we've got so much empathy for them because we've seen this revolution. I mean, the revolution's been going on for ages, but the last 12 months, it's been so fast paced. It's always changing, and it's now more important than ever. Our job is to stay on the cutting edge of that revolution so that our Blam partners can concentrate on growing their business. And we take care of the tech, the development, the design, the support, the mentoring, the education, the motivation. That is our job. Our Blam partners take it and apply it and grow their businesses. And that all keys into our mission at Blam. We want to be the world's biggest designer of websites and apps for small businesses. We've got a 7-year plan to do that. And in order to achieve it, we can't do that on our own. We need Blam partners. We need other entrepreneurs who are motivated by their own business in order to actually go out and grow their own business with our help. And they can use our systems, and it expedites them to that point so they don't have to go through, you know, the years of building up a business and building up a team the way I did way back in 2001. You can use our team and apply that straight away with the design, with the development, and with the system that we give you. So it's a bit like a franchise, except you've got your own brand. And all of this, you know, is founded on 3 main, what we call whys. There are 3 pillars. And without these, you know, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And the first one is our products. And I've talked about our AI websites, which, by the way, They're future-proof because we're updating them all the time. So our customers never have to have a rebuild of their website. It's always up to date. We do that. We've had over 90 updates last year, and we just keep updating them all the time. We've got a drag and drop editor. A lot of people like to update their own websites, or at least know they can. So it makes it super easy. People like that control. We can do that. We offer all support, so our partners don't need to know anything about the technology because we offer the tech support to your customers, and that means that it's all taken care of for you. Everything is super transparent in terms of the dashboard and the way everything works, so you can see everything that's going on with your business within our partner dashboard. And we use Amazon Web Servers, which are super secure with all the certificates that you require. It's basically everything is all done for you, and that means that with that and everything else, you've got a simple, easy to demonstrate and easy to be accountable to support system for the websites. Now, Ed can show you what this looks like in the back office when you do your deep dive with Ed. I recommend you book in with that for as soon as you can, so he can show you that. And while he's there, he can show you our other products as well. We've got an awesome app product and strategy. As you remember, apps are in my blood. Way back in 2010, I set up my first app development agency, and we love apps, but you've got to know how to sell them, and you've got to understand the strategy. That word strategy on there is so key. It's really important you understand how you can help people with an app. Another fantastic monthly recurring revenue model. Social media is just blowing up right now, and I'm just so proud to say that our social media product that we've got, which is a posting product, is just about the best on the market, using artificial intelligence to be able to create posts that are awesome, really engaging, and look amazing with over 100,000 templates, which is growing all the time. Again, Ed can show you this, another recurring revenue model. And then local SEO, which is really exciting at the moment. We've just expanded our offering for search engine optimization. This is blowing up right now, guys. Anybody that is, if you're looking to get into digital marketing, SEO has gone bonkers, because so many small businesses now know they need SEO. They need that search engine optimization to get their websites above the competition. It's another monthly recurring revenue model, very profitable for partners, a fantastic product. Our second pillar, our second why is our processes. And first of all, our systems and training, which we do conduct on site, as well as going out to our partners around the world. So as restrictions begin to be lifted, we'll be going out to different parts of the world where we go to meet our partners. Really good. We couldn't go last year. We had trips booked. What a shame. Obviously, the pandemic got in the way. But as things open up the second part of this year, we're already booked over in the States. I'd love to get back over to South Africa again and Canada. So fingers crossed we'll be able to do that this year. But the thing that hasn't affected us really is the fact that because we do so much stuff online, we make ourselves very accessible with these kind of training sessions like we're doing right now, like the one that I just did earlier today. Means that, it's like we're there anyway, and we can work in several different time zones. And everything is delivered through a learning management system, which means that we can track your progress. You can rewatch the webinars and the seminars that we do and all the training. We call it the Blam Certified Partner Program. We're really, really proud of those courses within it. And they're all accountable in the end. Finish off with the Blam exam. You take the Blam exam, you get an hour to take the exam. You get 70% or higher. You are a certified partner. You can wear that badge with honor. And it's got real credibility in the marketplace because every Blam partner has to go through that certification. But not only that, guys, it's our pledge that Blam partners are always the best digital marketers in the room. And that's why we've partnered with Digital Marketer as a certified partner with them, meaning that every single one of our partners gets all of the digital marketer courses. Now, this is over £5,000 worth of courses that mean that our partners get everything they need to become certified in every element of digital marketing. Now, digital marketing is a big, in-depth subject, and you may not want to do all of these courses. However, if you like learning, if you want to be certified in a myriad of different subjects, you will not need to buy any more training material at all. In fact, our goal is that when you join the Blam Partnership Program, everything is taken care of. You won't need to go on any more courses. You won't need to buy any more stuff, any more training, anything else like that. Everything is delivered to you with a cherry on top, you know, because you've got the actual application with our mentorship as well as the education as well. And so then finally, our people who we're immensely proud of, our team have been awesome. I mean, I say this as well with pride because, you know, during the pandemic, our offices have sat empty. Our people had to work from home. And you know what? Because of the business that we're in, it was nowhere near as big a transition as most businesses because we do a lot of stuff like this already. However, they are, you know, we're just so proud of how they stepped up. And although they're still not in the office, our office is largely empty at the moment. They're doing even better work than they were when they were in the office. Absolutely awesome. But let me just tell you a little bit about Ed, because Ed is the partner mentor. Now, you would have seen him on the video earlier, and you will no doubt get to meet him when you do the one-to-one and you engage with us further. But I want to tell you a bit about him because this bit's quite important about his background, which started in hospitality, actually. He was actually the manager of a big restaurant in Disneyland Paris. And that meant that, you know, he got indoctrinated by the Disney ethos, which we love, by the way, because it's all about, you know, it's customer service, isn't it? But he had the entrepreneurial itch. Ed wanted to be a business owner, and he read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm hoping that you guys have read this already. If you haven't, I would recommend that you check it out. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. In that book, it says, if you are going to run a business, you need to learn how to sell. So Ed had no experience of sales. So he went and got himself a job in door-to-door sales, which is about the most difficult kind of sales you can do. Was successful, ended up building his own digital marketing company and consultancy where he was a LinkedIn trainer, and actually ended up sitting on a presentation a bit like this one about 4 years ago, where he got pitched by me to become a Blam partner. And he handed over his hard-earned cash and became a Blam partner because he could see the advantages of using our back office for his digital marketing agency, and that's what he did. And of course, he was super successful, and I'd like to say the rest is history. But he and I run the business together. He's director of the business, and that means that we are hands-on helping Blam partners. And when you speak to Ed, he's been a partner. He's been a successful partner. This is not just somebody talking from a textbook. He's been there and done it and got the t-shirt, quite literally. And so he's a great source of advice, motivation. And that's really, really important to me as well. And everything about what we do is measured in our support system. I'm pleased to say it usually running at around about 100% positive feedback. However, we do get negative feedback. It gives the opportunity to improve because we want to be, you know, if we are not delivering, we haven't got a business. We've got to make sure we're supporting our partners day and night. Absolutely key to us, because our partners are the tech entrepreneurs. They're the people going out there and helping these small businesses. And we're the tech side of it. We're the guys that take care of the design, the development, you know, the motivation, the education, the tools, and the reporting and everything that goes with it. And our partners are the entrepreneurs. They're the guys that go out there and help other entrepreneurs grow their business. And you can do that from anywhere in the world as long as you've got an internet connection. Hopefully better than mine is today. Would be good. But as long as you've got that internet connection, a mobile phone, a laptop, that's all you need. And our partners are many and varied, and all sorts of different shapes and sizes. They come in terms of their background and their experience. And I'm really delighted to say we've got loads and loads of testimonials. Tony, who's one of our partners who started last year, about just over a year ago, he started. So he kind of, you know, went through the baptism of fire of understanding how to do work through a pandemic. He's doing really, really well. He was kind enough to send us a testimony without us even asking. But he really gets a lot out of being part of that team, you know, especially as we're all working from home, you know, most of us at the moment, you know, or a lot of our partners are working from home. being part of that community is a really important part of that support bubble. Sherelle, massive advocate for us. She's been with us for years now. She was a professional footballer, believe it or not. And she's building a really decent sized business now. She's got staff. You know, she relies on us heavily for the support side of things. She made her money back, you know, in the first month of joining us. And that was probably about 4 years ago now. So great advocate for us. And if you watch her testimonial, by the way, I forgot to say, these testimonials, I'm not going to play them. We're running out of time here, so I'm not going to play them now, but you can see all of these testimonials on blampartners.com/testimonials. And you can watch these testimonials and get a feeling for what kind of different characters Blam Partners are. Because some of them are full-time in their business, some of them have got full-time jobs, and some of them are part-time and everything in between. The backgrounds are really varied, but the overwhelming and aligning factor is, as with Mike, is that you get a good feeling about working with us, because we're very hands-on guys. You know, we if anything, we over support our partners. You know, I have been accused of over supporting partners. That's what we're going for, because we know that people need help, and we never want to hear a partner give the excuse that they're not seeing the success they wanted because we didn't support them. You know, that excuse is never going to happen. Okay. And Mike kind of resonates with that. He's based over in Florida. He was a corporate guy, so he took early redundancy and he looked at 2,500 different business models, you know, franchises and whatnot, and he whittled it down to us, which we're really proud of. And you know, we're just on the same page. He's a great guy, Mike is. And then Spencer. So the training that I've just been doing earlier today is for this guy's team. He's got a team of salespeople that work for him. Absolutely smashing it. And the video and the interview that I did with Spencer, he was relatively new. He'd only been with us a few months. Gosh, things have come on a long way since that. But you can see the kind of guy that he's never been in sales, never done marketing or anything like that before. He's just applied the learning and built a business. Exactly the same for Matt. This guy was full-time in his business, working for somebody else for a long time before he actually, you know, took the bull by the horns and did it. And that's my favorite testimonial because it's hilarious. Matt's a very dry character, is really funny. But he's from an automotive background, never done any selling before, doesn't know anything about marketing before he joined Blam. So like I say, guys, you don't need to be intimidated if you've never sold or you've never, done anything to do with marketing before. That's not a requirement. A requirement is having a can-do attitude, a work ethic, you know, liking the style of the way me and Ed run the business. What you see is what you get, guys. And sort of having a passion for helping small businesses, because that's really what we do, is we help small businesses. We provide them with really good value services and products that get results for them. You can build a business with monthly recurring revenue using the tools and the systems that we can teach you. And that all comes together with this little statement from Sarah, one of our long-term partners, who at the beginning of lockdown last year wrote this in our inner circle group. And she said, "I have to say, Grant, that I'm hugely grateful to Blam for encouraging me to build a business based on a recurring monthly income. As I'm hoping it will help me weather this storm more easily than other businesses, I'm feeling very sorry for lots of people." Now, Sarah had that recurring revenue already when we went into lockdown. That meant that when she had to stay at home and homeschool her child, she didn't have time to go out and make sales. It didn't matter because the revenue kept coming in. And that's exactly what we're going for, guys, to have that kind of security, you know, and that can be done quite easily by just having a quick look at this. Now, this is what we call a revenue assumptions calculator. And Ed, again, on the deep dive, can kind of give you an example of this based around your particular circumstances. But to give you an example, if you sold one website a week and you sold one app a month and one SEO package, based on our general pricing, and by the way, our Blam partners have full control of their own pricing because they've got their own business. We're not a franchise. We don't dictate to them what they should sell at. We advise and we help and we strategize with them. But we would recommend in this instance just a straightforward £100 a month website, a £100 a month app, and the SEO package would be around about £300 a month. The profit from that, after you've paid us, if you did it for 12 months in a row, so that was 12 months worth of trading, would be £6,600 recurring. So that means that every month, £6,600 would land in your bank account if you did it for a year, or €7,800, or over 100,000 rand, over 8,200 US dollars, and over sort of 10,000 plus Canadian or Australian. And that's what you can anticipate if you make what we would recommend as being a sort of a generic target. One a week is what we would be looking at. We call this business, we say it's not a get rich quick. You know, there's no smoke and mirrors here. It's a solid business. We're in a market that is growing. There's over 250,000 small businesses per digital marketing agency at the moment, based on the numbers. So the demand is off the charts. And we just want to try and get people out there helping these small businesses that really need the help. We call it a get rich slow scheme, not a get rich quick scheme, because you do it consistently and persistently, and you'll build a solid business, a proper business, not a flighty, flaky business. This is, you know, we're selling websites to small businesses here, and that is a solid enterprise. So anyway, guys, that is my presentation. I'm now going to go on to tell you a little bit about the partnership program, what it costs and what you get. For those of you that have heard enough, and I just want to thank you for your time and attention. I also just want to say thanks to Ed for the intro, and also just say, if you want to find out more, Blam Academy is a great place to look. If Blam's not for you, but you're looking for more entrepreneurial inspiration from us. But for those of you that are still with me, I'm now going to run through the package and tell you what you get. It's just going to take 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and
just quickly, if you're watching this on the replay, there'll be a link below to book the one-to-one. And thanks, Shelley, and thanks, Son Wabiso, for booking in. Marianne, I hope to speak to you very soon as well. Great to see so many of you on the call today. So stick around for the next bit, and then we'll do the Q&A. Great timing, by the way, Grant, despite all the glitches.
I'm a pro, you see, mate. I'm a pro.
Absolutely.
In the pro in the dark. What's going on? You're a pro in the dark.
I am. I need to stand up. My light's gone off. There we go. It's one of those, it just goes off after it, doesn't it? So let's talk about the package, guys. So what's included in the package? So we've got a deal that we're running at the moment, and it's our February deal. So we're just coming into closing this deal off at the moment. Got a few days left. And what's included? Well, you get the Blam certification. I've talked about that. This really is our secret sauce. This step-by-step program talks you through everything that we've learned over the years about how to sell digital marketing to small businesses. We price that over £10,000, and it's included in the partnership. It's the key foundation of what we do. But the most important thing is that it comes with the management team to help you, because knowledge is one thing, application is the other. We can all do a course and have the knowledge, but can we actually apply it? And that's what our job is, to help you guys apply that knowledge. Then we do Facebook Live training every single week. This is a Wednesday at 4 o'clock UK time. We deliver a training course live, and that means that all the partners come together, engage with the training. We did one yesterday, for example, about our new SEO packages, and it's just a great way to get the community involved. And me and Ed will be there, and with a bit of luck, Ed won't crack too many jokes, but I can't guarantee it. Access to the exclusive Blam partner deal. So we run deals regularly for partners, meaning that our standardized price list that you will see, we'll do deals on that and discounts, and then we'll brand those deals, and we'll allow partners to use the branding in order to get more sales. Works every time we do a deal. We use a deadline and we use a call to action, and it comes with stuff like the strategy behind it, the social media content so you can promote it, as well as things like, you know, how to write a press release and all that kind of stuff, templates for all that kind of stuff. Worth over £4,000. Absolute, big, well, excuse the pun, it's a big deal for us. Plus we get the Blam Social. Now, I talked briefly about Blam Social. The value of Blam Social, it's difficult to explain it without showing it to you. So Ed will show you this on the deep dive. It's just such an awesome bit of kit. it really does sum up how the products and services that we produce are always cutting edge. With Blam Social, we've got a cutting edge social media posting package that's like a package on its own. It's worth well over £2,000 to a partner. There's a resource centre that goes with it, and it's included in the Blam Partnership Programme, plus the accountability programme. So you'll get put in a multi-mind group. Now, this is once a month, joining with other Blam partners, talking about your successes, your challenges, and being accountable to your numbers. It's one of the most valuable things that we do. It's worth over £5,000, and it's included in the package this month. You get your own brand website. So that means that we will do your branding for you. We will actually design you a logo based on your company name. We'll design you a website and an app with all the features that we pack into those websites and apps, so that you've got everything you need online to represent your business as a Blam certified partner, worth over £2,500. That's included, as well as the weekly sales webinars. So every Monday at 5 o'clock UK time, Ed and I go live and we deliver specifically sales training to Blam partners, so that you can close more deals. You can go on this journey of becoming a professional salesperson, so that you can actually build a business based on your performance and then teach it to others. That is the goal. If you can grow a team like the team I've been training today, a Blam Partners team, teach that knowledge to others. Then you've got the digital marketer training system. So all of the courses, they're all certified. You know, these things are recognized around the world as the best courses on the planet. Over £5,000 worth of courses, updated regularly. So you will always get the latest training included in the partnership program. And then we'll design you some bespoke marketing materials as well, such as your business cards, as your leaflets, your pull-up banners, the kind of things that you're going to use day to day, all designed for you, worth over £1,000 included. And then the biggie, guys, we call it the Diffie. Now, the Do It For You package, and this is a deal that we're running this month, actually, which is just really, really cool. Means that our design and development team are your design and development team. And normally that would cost £299 a month. So whatever that would be in your currency. And by the way, we always charge you in your currency, so you don't have to worry about currency variations or exchange rates. We bill you in your currency.
Hence the reason we don't use cryptocurrencies, by the way, Shelley.
It
fluctuates too much.
It does, yeah. I mean, although I'll tell you what, Ed, I'm thinking about it. If Elon Musk is taking Bitcoin now, we should be thinking about it as well.
I think we need to leave that one. I think we need to leave that one well alone. Yeah, until there's no more gold.
Come up with a Blam currency.
That's it.
Blam
Exactly.
Blam coin.
Still to come, we will have the Blam cryptocurrency.
There we go.
Yeah, so for this one, we actually design, develop, and offer the support and the back office for as many websites and apps that you want to give us each month for a fixed price. And we're doing a deal on this at the moment. It's worth over $48,000. If you just to sell one a week, like the package that we talked about, like the deal that we said when we were doing the assumptions calculator, and you were to outsource to freelancers, which is what Ed used to do before he joined as a partner, that's going to cost you over £48,000 in a year. This is just a fixed price now. Most partners pay $299 a month, as I said, but we're doing a deal this month, which makes that even more of a bargain. So finally, we add all that up, we're looking at over £82,000 worth. You know, it's over 2 million rands worth of value. You know, well over 100,000 worth of US. You know, nearly 100,000 worth of euros, and over 150,000 worth Canadian and Australian. So a lot of value that we've managed to squeeze into the package, and that all comes with the upfront investment that we ask for. And the Feb deal at the moment, now you've probably seen it online, what we're offering online. We are actually doing a deal that's exclusive to these presentations, and it means that we're knocking a third off throughout February. It's our Valentine's deal, which means that for £10,000 or 13,500 US, which is 18,000 Canadian or Australian, 11,000 euros or 200,000 rand, you get access to all of that I just talked about, plus the monthly fee, which starts once you make your first sale. You don't get charged anything on the monthly fee till you make your first sale, has come down to £99 a month, which, you know, is an absolute bargain, because that means that you get all of your design and development done included, no matter how many websites or apps that you sell within that price. Now, we've got one slot left, guys, and unfortunately it's right at the end of the month, and this deal has been really popular. And if you watch any of the reruns that we've been doing over the months, over this month, you'll see we made a sale at the beginning of this week. We've got a few people that are looking at that last slot, but we do only sell 6 partnerships a month. Ed and I are very hands-on, and that's part of the way that we can manage the quality. So although at this time of month I always feel a bit guilty, because it does seem like a bit of a sales pitch when I say there's only 1 slot left, but honestly it's genuine, guys. It's just the way that we do it, because obviously we don't want to overcommit when we are so hands-on. So if you do want to get that deal locked in, the first thing you need to do is get that demo with Ed. If it's looking good, and if you want to go ahead, you can get a proposal, and if you sign the proposal, it locks the deal in. We then talk about the deal in terms of the funding. Now, if you're in the UK, we've got lots of funding options. We do payment plans as well for the upfront. The main thing is, if Blam is for you and you really believe it, we can usually find a way of getting the deal to work, but you've just got to talk to us. The most important thing is that we understand that you're the right fit for us and we're the right fit for you. And that's where we can then talk about the first payment, getting the deposit paid, because then the onboarding begins. Now, you could be up and cooking within 2 weeks. Mostly it takes about 30 days. But about Roberto, Ed, he just had his sort of kickoff call this morning. He's been about 3 weeks, would you say?
Yeah, he's gone real quick. Yeah, super quick. Weeks. And he's done about 4 courses already. So he's well on his way, and he's got three deals lined up. Yeah. So really excited about him. So yeah.
So anyway, guys, that is the end of the presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. Appreciate your time and attention. Ed, if you want to wrap things up with the recording, and then we will do a bit of Q&A for you guys that are on the live.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you very much for sticking around and spending some time with us. Really, really appreciate it. If you're watching this on the recording, then please have a look below in the description. There will be a link in there to book that one-to-one. All of this is for information purposes, guys. We want you to get as much information as possible, and you know, I really appreciate you spending some time with us researching this business opportunity. So goodbye for now, and we'll see you on the one-to-one. If you're watching this live, stick around for the Q&A.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Grant, thank you so much. That was awesome.